Well, I've been with the Rams. I think this is the most complete team, both offensively, defensively, and special teams that the Bengals have faced in the playoffs. Their teams might have been better offensively, slightly better defensively, but I think when you combine the two together, when you combine all three of the phases together, I think the Rams are the most complete team the Bengals are going to face. I love the connection. Matthew Stafford, Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. Dang, Cooper Kupp must be the best receiver in football. Huh.
Who knew?
Oh.
Shocking.
I wonder why Odell ain't getting 15 targets a game. Why he ain't the number one receiver? Cooper Kupp is Offensive Player of the Year. How many receivers have ever won that award? Not very many. He did it.
Why didn't Odell win that award? Because he's the superstar.
Devontae. You say Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. He didn't win it.
By the way, the guy who should have won Offensive Player of the Year was not there last night and was not honored last night. My shock, and his name is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. If he's not going to win MVP, he has to be Offensive Player of the Year.
He couldn't.
Because Pro Football Focus, your favorite website, made a closed-shut case that Brady was the MVP.
Clearly, the voters do not work for Pro Football Focus.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And Aaron Rodgers blew him away for the MVP, but we'll talk about that another time. The defensive line, I believe they're going to get after Joe Burrow because I think that's the weakness of their offense is the offensive line. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Greg Gaines. I love A'Shawn Robinson. I love the rotation that they have, sending bodies in and out, being able to continuously get pressure on Joe Burrow. Skip, look, playoff run defense, the 49ers, we know they can run the football. Held them to 50 yards on 20 carries. We saw 51 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Neutralized Connor, that vaunted running attack for the Arizona Cardinals. So they can shut down the run. We know Mixon can run the football, but he's been relatively quiet. But he's always a threat. I just expect the Rams to do what they've done in the postseason. And that's with the exception of the 49ers, Skip. They score a bunch of points. They can score. Now, I don't believe Cincinnati's defense is as good as the 49ers. But maybe that has a lot to do with them being good and them playing a division rival, knowing each other so well. I know what you like to do. You know what I like to do. It's a little bit of a struggle. More times than not, when a team faces a division rival in the playoffs, it's normally a nip-and-tuck ball game. Here's the concern from if you're a Bengals fan. The Bengals have been very, very bad in the red zone. Only 36% touchdowns in the red zone, 4 touchdowns on 11 trips. And you know you win championships by scoring touchdowns, not kicking field goals. So I'm going to take the Rams. The Rams will be celebrating. There's nothing like celebrating. This is like having a bunch of people over to Skip to watch a game, and the team that you're rooting for wins, and you kick everybody up out of there disappointed, as opposed to going to someone else's house and their team wins, and you got to leave disappointed. So the Rams are at home. They're going to be celebrating. I'm going to be right there with them. Me and O'Day are going to be dancing in the locker room. I'm going to be pouring Gatorade on everybody. Rams 31, Bengals 27.
31-27. I'm surprised you went that high on both scores.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Rams can score 31 on that Cincinnati defense, which is just woefully underrated at this
They got 30. They got 30 on Tampa's defense.
You're giving Joe Burrow 27 against the Rams' vaunted defense, one of the greatest ever to play in a Super Bowl, because they do have the greatest defensive player ever as their centerpiece, right? Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Do you remember that Super Bowl when they had Mean Joe Green and they had Ham and Lambert and all those guys? They had like 15 Hall of Famers on the field.
10.
And the score was 35-31. How did somebody get all those points with all those Hall of Famers?
You're talking about Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson and Tony Dorsett. And I can go on and on. It was a cavalcade. My Cowboys had 7 Hall of Famers on the field.
Donnie Shell, Hall of Fame. Joe Green, Hall of Fame.
I don't think
Mel
Donnie
Blunt.
Shell made it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Donnie Shell just went last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. I just did something about this, and I looked at it, and I didn't see Donnie
he finally went last year.
Okay, well, then they got 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Steelers had 11.
Yeah, the Steelers do.
Yeah,
Cowboys have 7, including Drew Pearson, who should have been in 30 years ago.
So they had so think about it, Skip. That's 18 Hall of Famers in a game.
Okay.
So
I told you, I've said this before, greatest collection of pro football talent I've ever seen on one field was that day.
Yeah.
It was Super Bowl 13 in Miami.
Yeah, you're never going to have
January of '79.
You're never going to have that many again.
Nope. Okay.
No. So I'm taking the Rams.
Well, I hear that, and I see that, but I don't get that.
Why?
By the way, to hear everybody tell it this week, Jenny just said right now the Rams are 4-point favorites. It feels like they should be 4-point favorites, like 14. No, it does. It does. And I can't wait. We're about to have the Ram ambassador, Eric Dickerson, on here in just a few minutes. And we'll see. He's getting more and more carried away. He'll have them winning by 28 or 38.
You tricked him into 20 or 21.
I didn't trick him. He tricked himself. It's called betting with your heart over your head. But that's fine. Knee-jerk reaction, overreaction. Okay. I'm going to give you this. On paper, just at a glance, the Rams should win this game.
Okay.
The Bengals will win this game. Matt Stafford, on paper, should be. He's set up. The skids are greased for him to be the MVP of this game because they're going to throw it probably a lot because their coach has a huge ego and he wants to say, watch this. Yeah. And yet, Joe Burrow will be the MVP. I'm going to say it one more time to you. This is my bottom line to this game. There's just something about Joe Burrow. There's something magical. There's something special. I believe he's going to arrive on the biggest stage in your sport on Sunday. It's made for him. And if you look at what he's done on the biggest stages at every level, it's been spectacular.
Yeah.
It's been special to death because it started with that high school playoff game that he was in. And he threw for 464 yards. They didn't win because they got outscored, but he threw for 464 and 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns? Mm-hmm. And then you don't need me to repeat that run to the college playoffs.
At LSU his senior year, yeah.
Lord have mercy. The SEC championship game against Georgia, that's in Atlanta. That's 349 that he threw for in that game. And then my Sooners, I actually thought they had a shot in the game. He threw for 493 in that game and 7 touchdowns, 4 in the SEC championship game. And then against Clemson, a national championship game, he threw for 463 and 5 touchdowns. So that's a grand total of 16 touchdowns in 3 games with no interceptions. 16-0? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? And then all he did was go to Tennessee when I least expected it. I thought Tennessee would be right out here this week representing the AFC. They had 2 home games to get to SoFi.
Right.
And Joe Burrowed them. And then he turns right around and he goes to my homeboy at home. And
down 21-3.
Down 21-3. And he does a number, but more important, the defense did a number on Patrick Mahomes in the second half. He threw for 55 yards and scored 0 points in the second half. Never seen anything quite like that, which brings me to this defense. It caught fire. You've seen it happen where you can't explain it, but I also pointed out to you the day after they beat Mahomes, it's loaded with a lot of second and third round picks and a couple of first round picks, but it's all high picks everywhere. And all of a sudden, it detonated right on schedule. And this league is all about who gets hot when.
Yes.
And it got hot when, right on time.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it got opportunistically hot where it's creating turnovers right and left. The little pass gets batted up in the air by Hill. Yeah. The Mahomes pass that he intercepts and returns. Right. Okay, it just keeps happening where they keep causing turnovers. Your quarterback that you love, Matthew Stafford, has always had the haywire gene in him. He's got some Brett Favre where he's got sensational, he's got all-time arm talent. He does. But because of the arm talent, sometimes the haywire gene kicks in because he thinks, I could do that, I could do that, I can do that. I'm just not sure he's built for this stage, and I am dead sure that Joe Burrow is. Well, Skip, I mean, he's shown you in the playoffs that he's built for these moments. To go down and stare Tom Brady face-to-face in his building, you give up that big lead because clearly Tampa had all the momentum. You mentioned they scored 24 unanswered points. So they had all the momentum, and in 2 plays, he had them in field goal range to kick the walk-off. Last week, down 10 to start the fourth quarter. Sean McVay led the team, had never come back from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. He did that. So he's showing you that these moments, he says, I've waited, I'm built for these moments. I've waited for these moments. Now he has those moments. The thing that I love most about the Rams defensive line, Skip, is that they've stopped the run. They know in order to get after your quarterback, we've got to stop you from running the football. They've stopped
To get after Kyler Murray, they had to shut down James Conner. To get after those Tom Brady, they had to neutralize Leonard Floyd and Keyshawn Vaughn. To get after Jimmy G, they had to stop the run, and they've done that. So now they know we got to stop Mixon, we got to stop P. Ryan, but we're going hunting. We're coming after Joe Burrow because he's the head of the snake. Kill the head, tail die later. Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl 56 champ, Los Angeles Rams.
Obviously, the weakest link in this game is the Cincinnati offensive line that allowed 9 sacks at Tennessee and lived to tell about it. But it somehow clicked and came back together in time to allow 1 sack, thanks to Burrow escaping a couple times, 1 sack at Kansas City. This line and this team loves that quarterback. They love him because they trust him to play poised, clutch football in the biggest moments. He'll make the right play and the biggest throw in the biggest moment.
Right.
So they believe in him. They believe in his swagger because it's not disgusting kind of swagger. It's not over-the-top swagger. It's heartwarming swagger. It's like he's a little kid trying to do adult things a little bit. It's almost like Macaulay Culkin, who he looks like in Home Alone. It's like he's trying to be an adult because the adults are gone.
Right.
Is this cool? He's really not cool at heart by nature, but he does cool things because he's trying to live up to his pedigree. He's the first pick, and he knows that since Brady left, he knows he's the closest thing to Brady left of those young quarterbacks.
Well, I remember a guy that used to dress like that come to press conference, and they said he was arrogant, and they said he didn't need to dress like that. I ain't gonna talk about Cam Newton used to was dressing like that and doing all these things way before Joe Burrow, and he didn't get the reception. But we're gonna talk about that another time.
I'm just saying, so far with Burrow, it's endearing. Maybe it'll become over the top, disgusting. Well, we'll see about that. But the point is, this team believes in him, and this team will play for him.
Absolutely.
And I believe this line will play way over its heads and its helmets for him. They're going to have to. They're going to have to figure out how to do it just on sheer desire, where you just suck it up and say, we just have to lay down our lives for him and do the best we can. Is he going to get sacked 3 or 4 times? Probably will. Will he get sacked, fumbled? No.
Well, that's the thing. You got to hold on to the ball.
No
turnovers.
Strip sacks. You can't do it. And I'll give him maybe, Burrow, 1 interception, but beyond 1 turnover in this game, you're not going to win.
Right.
I'll give him 1.
You're going to have to run the football. I don't believe
I think Joe Mixon is.
Yeah, Skip, he's going to have to. Now, he didn't start but if you look at that last drive, Skip, when they got in field goal range in overtime, Joe Mixon took the game over.
Yep.
But prior to that, Kansas City had done a great job of neutralizing him.
I've told you this since he was at Oklahoma. He's a difference maker.
Yeah, he's right.
And I believe they'll give him the opportunity to make a big difference in this game. So to me, the Rams' run to the Super Bowl is a little overrated because if you look hard at what happened, Arizona was just crumbling down the stretch like they have for 2 straight years. Okay, well, I think it wasn't that hard to make them crumble.
Okay. Then, what about Tampa?
At Tampa, what did you tell me all year? I don't see it. The Bucs defense never detonated. It never clicked. It never took off the way it did a year ago when it got hot.
You didn't need that. Hold on. You didn't need that. You told me Pro Football Focus graded Tom Brady. So I don't want to hear anything about defense because you never mentioned defense.
Okay, I'm just telling you, they were overrated because the defense didn't go along for the ride the way it did last year.
Oh, they went along for the ride, huh?
Well, I mean, they lived up to their end of the bargain. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain as Brady. It's why Brady had to score 24 unanswered in the second half against the Rams.
Right.
Okay, and then we get to the 49ers. The 49ers, their division rivals, had beaten them 6 straight times. Well, the law of averages finally kicked in, and finally they said, you know what, we're sick and tired of this. We're going to the Super Bowl because it's in our house.
The law of averages was Jimmy Garoppolo. That was the law of averages.
Well, and you know what I call him, Jimmy Gag.
Yeah, exactly. So, you bet with Jimmy Gag, though.
I'm sorry. I just thought they could keep him out of harm's way, and ultimately, it looked like they were for a while because they're up, what was it, 17-7?
17-7.
17-7, and then the sky fell in, right? Okay. So in the end, the Rams are vintage Hollywood. They are the Hollywood Rams because they got superstars that the Bengals don't. Burrow is on the verge of superstardom, but he has not arrived until he wins a game like this game.
Correct.
So the point is, I just believe deep down, when we get to the backbone of a football team, that Cincinnati is a little mentally tougher than the Hollywood Rams are.
Right.
That's just me. And I believe as much as I like Odell personally, and we're about to go deep on him right here, but I believe he's due to drop a pass. I just think he'll have one big drop because we've seen him drop big passes before. And I believe that Jalen Ramsey will lose concentration one time, somewhere on Jamar Chase. It may be on T. Higgins.
Nah, he'll be
lose
locked
concentration. He lost it on Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And you know how that
Yeah, we're losing on
55 yards later, it was 27-20,
Yeah.
right? And then I believe that Aaron Donald, every once in a while, when you least expect it, just has a quiet game where he doesn't disrupt,
Yes,
he doesn't
ain't it?
wreck the game. Okay, well, we'll see about that, but I think...
What about Vaughn?
Okay, Vaughn, he might eat. They got eaters all across. They got it.
Sure do.
Okay, all right, well, we'll see, because it feels like they've already won this game, which can be very dangerous, especially when you're at home. I think home field will work against the home team.
Skip.
Because the pressure mounts for you to live up. You're at home.
Right.
You got this.
But here's the thing. The Rams really doesn't have a home field advantage. You saw the 49ers. The 49ers took that stadium over. They talked about, hold on, can we, not sell our tickets to the opposing team?
Okay, I got that. But the theme of the week is the Rams are playing a home Super Bowl just the way Brady played last year.
Yeah.
Okay, Brady's not going to spit the bit on that. He's not going to choke under the pressure to win at home.
Well,
I think they will start to feel the pressure, and it will tighten their throats in the second half
I
of this
don't
game.
think so. Matthew Stafford and the boy genius, Sean McVay.
Thank you for bringing him up. He coaches with his ego more than his brain. I think he's gifted, he's brilliant, but I believe his ego gets in the way because he wants to be the face of this franchise.
Right.
He wants to be the biggest star in Hollywood, and it bites him in the behind occasionally, and I think it'll bite him again in this game.
I want him to wear a step of meat. I want to see how many miles he run on that sideline, because he's gonna be tired running down to the end zone. Odell with one, Cooper Kupp with one, scoop and score. Oh man, and I'm telling you, he gonna be better than what he did against the Tampa. You know, because he stayed running on the sideline with D-Jack and all them touchdowns.
Did he? Oh, I've shown that too many times. That's my favorite video of the year. Running all the way up the tunnel. I have never seen an NFL head coach ever do that.
Skip, he young. Skip, he young.
Yeah,
It's the
they're all
social
young.
media age.
I got it. Yeah, he's trying to out social media Odell. That's what he's trying to do. He wants to be as bigger than Odell. Bottom line, final score for me. I got the Bengals winning this game 23-21, a much lower scoring game than you forecast.
Right.
And I believe that Evan McPherson, their thunder-footed rookie, will pull it off again because he is as clutch as they come.
Indoors, he might be good from 60.
He might be good from 60. I think he is the new Justin Tucker, who won the award last night for the play of the year, the 62-yard field goal that bounced off the crossbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this kid is on the rise to rival him as the best kicker in football. So I will trust him to win this game 23-21.
Okay. We got anything to do on it?
Well, you're going to give me the 4.
No, this is the Super Bowl.
It's 4, right?
This is the Super Bowl.
I know, but you just made the case they're going to win by 14.
And you just told me, hold on, Coach McYay trying to show up everybody. Odell is not that good. Matthew Stafford not be.
I've got 21 from Eric Dickerson, and you won't even give me 4?
No,
that's no guts, no glory.
You just told me Eric Dickerson bet with his heart. Bet with his heart, not with his head. You're not going to get me with that foolishness.
Later. I feel like he may want to change that. I think the emotion of the moment
Skip ain't gonna let him change it.
For ET. No, I know no one forgets around here. Okay. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.